Hi, this is Rochelle with Scrapcraftastic, and I have been asked to show how I cut stickers using Cricut. I don't know if this is the right way, but this is how I do it, so I'm sharing it with you. I have a Cricut Air 2, and for this specific tutorial, I'm showing you how to cut stickers that are already prepared to be cut with a Cricut. So, if you have graphics that you want to cut with a Cricut, this is not going to show you how to prepare those files. This is specifically showing how to cut with a file that is Cricut ready. And I try to make most of my digital files Cricut ready. Some of my older ones are not. If you find that there is one that you're interested in, but you need it to be Cricut ready, let me know, and I may be able to make some adjustments for you. Okay, so let's get started. I need to print and cut some stickers from Cella Creates. I already have them Cricut ready. They don't necessarily come from Cella Creates Cricut ready, and I know I keep saying that, but I just want to be clear. So I have edited and revised the digital file so that it would work with Cricut. Okay, so I already have Design Space open here. This is a new project. So I'm just going to start uploading the stickers or the graphic that I want to use. And you can do more than one, but we're only going to do one for today. So I'm going to go down here to upload and click on it. And here are some of the recent projects that I have print and cut. So if I wanted to use something that was already here that I hadn't saved in my projects, then I would just click on it. But the file that I want to use is not here. So I am going to go to Upload Image and Browse. And I'm going to go to the file that I want, which is actually right here. And I can see a small thumbnail of the file. I'm going to come over here to select image type, and I'm going to say complex. I always choose complex and click continue. Now here, if you need to do some minor editing to your graphic, like possibly remove a background, you can do that here. Again, we're not going to get into editing the file because this tutorial is based on a Cricut ready file. So everything looks good. I can just move on from this section and click continue. Now here it shows just the cut of the file. And then this one over here is the print then cut image. This is what we want. We want to print then cut. So we're going to select this one. And it puts a little green border around it so that you know it's selected, and also the button down here turns green when you've selected. So I'm going to say upload, and it's going to upload this with the cut file and the graphic image for the print then cut. So it's now uploaded into my Design Space. Here it is over here on the bottom left. So now I want to import it onto the canvas and create a project. So I'm just going to select it. And again, there's a green border around it when it is selected, and the button over here turns green. And I'm going to click on that and say add to canvas. So it has added it to canvas. This is a PNG file, a PNG file. These are the easiest files other than SVG to work with in Cricut. But one thing it does when you use a PNG file, it pulls it in and makes it much larger than it should be. And I think this is true for most any PNG file that you use. You're going to have to adjust it down to the size that you want. As you can see here, I have a bar across the top and down the side because the live space allow when you're printing and cutting with Cricut is 6.75 inches wide and 9.25 inches in height. Anything bigger than that, it's not going to allow you to print then cut. So when I pulled this in, it pulled it in at 14.063 wide. That's entirely too big. So I need to reduce it down to the 6.75 that it's supposed to be, that it was designed to be. So first I want to make sure that this little lock above the measurements up here, where it says size, these are the measurements that it pulled it in as, the width and then the height. Make sure that lock is closed. If it's open, it's not going to keep your image in proportion, which means if it's out of proportion, your image may be smushed or it may be stretched wide. So we want it to stay in proportion. So I'm going to close the lock, and the lock is really, really tiny, so you have to look carefully to make sure that it is closed. So then I'm just going to go to the width and change that to 6.75. Now sometimes, I don't know what it is about the graphic editing software. Ideally, this should automatically convert the height to 9.25, but it didn't. It converted it to 9.268. So it's mathematical and it's off like a hair. I don't understand why that happens, but it does happen. And if you look over here in this panel on the right hand side, you'll see this triangle. And this little triangle is a warning about the size of this file, letting me know that this file is not the right size to work with Cricut Print and Cut, or Print Then Cut. That's what it's called here. So even though I changed this to 6.75, I'm going to have to go ahead and change this to 9.25. I have to put it in manually. So it changed the width a hair so that it's now 6.737, but that's fine. As long as we have it to a size that will fit the space that Cricut allows, it's going to be fine. And if you notice over here on the right, the little triangle is gone, so we are ready to go. So I can go ahead and save this, and I'm just going to give it a name, and I'm going to save it into a collection. I've recently started doing that instead of just saving everything all over the place. So I'm trying to put all of Chella Creates files in the same folder or in the same category. Okay, so now that it's saved, I am ready to make it. So I got my size right, my triangle is gone, I'm ready to go. Click on Make It in the top right corner, and it comes up giving you a display of what it should look like when you put it on your cut mat. It also gives you information over to the left about the size and other information. I don't usually change anything over here for my stickers. I just leave it. You may need to look at yours and see if your settings are the same as what I have here. Okay, so now we got to look at it. It looks good. On the mat, I'm going to click Continue. And this brings us to where we can actually print the graphic. Now, with the Cricut, I think a lot of people misunderstand that and think that the Cricut and even Silhouette think that those machines print. They do not print. You will also need a printer to use your Cricut. There's two separate steps that you have to go through. So you have to print, then cut. That's what the process is called. Print, then cut. So here I'm going to go ahead and print. I already have sticker paper in my printer and it is ready to go. So I'm going to click on Send to Printer. I'm going to make sure I have the correct printer chosen up here. I'm going to put in the number of copies that I want. And I always leave the add bleed on. I appreciate that it automatically adds bleed. I won't get into the explanation of bleed in this video, but it is a useful tool. I just don't really need it for this graphic because everything has a white offset, so I don't really need the bleed, but I leave it on. And then I'm just going to click on Print and start printing the file. Okay, so now the file is printed on the sticker paper and ready to go into the Cricut machine. I'm going to go ahead and choose my material. You may have to play around with these settings some to make sure that it works for you. I do have a custom material for my sticker paper just to make sure that it cuts properly. Cricut does have some options for you to choose from. You can choose browse all materials and see the different material options you have. And you can click on the star for whatever material you choose and it'll show up here in your favorites. So again, I've already adjusted settings for my sticker paper. I use the online label sticker paper. If you are interested in what settings I have for it, let me know in the comments below and I will give you those settings. So I'm just going to click on sticker paper light. I leave the pressure as is. I leave everything else here as is. And this tells me to load tools and material, and it tells me what I need. Basically, Cricut is ready to go out of the box, so I don't really need to change anything here. I'm just going to go to the machine, put my sticker paper on the mat, and put it in the machine, and then press the button like it tells me to do here. So let's get that done. So this is the mat that I'm using. It is the light grip. It's pretty well used. So what I'm going to do, I am going to go ahead and place this on the mat in the very top left corner, making sure that the left side of the sticker paper is along the line that's there, and the same with the top. If you can see the line with the numbers, the measurements, I want it to be in that very top left corner, and I can't do it with one hand, and I don't have a tripod here, so I'll be right back. Okay, so that is very simple to do. As you can see, I have it lined up in the very top left corner, and now we are ready to add this to the machine. So what I usually do is lightly place it in here under the guides. There's a couple of guides. There's one on the left there and one on the right here. I usually kind of butt it up to the one on the left and lightly press it against the bar that it feeds into. So I have it aligned the way that I want it. Then I'm going to press the button to feed the mat in. And I hope that pulled it in straight because I was doing it without putting my hand on it. Okay, so now this button, the Cricut cut button, I don't know what it's called, but this button that's flashing here, once everything is ready to go and you're ready to cut, that will flash. And then I'm just going to press it. And then it pulls in the sticker paper. It's scanning. It's reading the registration mark, which is that black border around the design, making sure that it's lining itself up. And once it does that, it will start cutting. So it did all of its registration. Now it is cutting. And this can take a while depending on the complexity of the design. So, but now that you see that it's actually cutting, I'm going to pause this and then we'll be back when the cut finishes. So once the file finishes cutting, it will push the mat back out like so. And then all you do is press this flashing button to push the mat completely out. And now your stickers are cut. Again, I'm doing this with one hand. So let me pull the sheet off of the mat and I'll be right back. And while I'm doing this, let me show you what I'm doing. I actually put the sticker paper face down on the desk and then I pull the mat away from the sticker like this. That way your sticker paper doesn't curl. You'll have limited curling. If you pull the sticker paper off of the mat instead of the mat off of the sticker paper, then it's going to curl. Okay, so the mat is off, and this is our sheet. We got a little curling on the edge right there, but other than that, it's pretty flat. And as you can see, it cut pretty well with the white border around the image. So all is well. This is ready to use. So now back at the computer, it's giving us the option to choose finish at the bottom right, and we are finished. So I'm just going to click that. And it's going to take us back to the canvas. If you need to save, then save. We've already saved, and I haven't changed anything. So it's saved and ready to go. If I want to make another one, then I can just click make it. If I want to start a new project, click new project, upload new files, whatever the case may be. But this one is done. And that's how you use your Cricut to cut stickers that are Cricut ready. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that little gray bell so that you'll receive notification each time I upload a new video. Be sure to check the community tab and my stories for updates throughout the week. Also, check us out over at patreon.com/ScrapCraftastic for exclusive content and digital downloads. Visit my other channel, Journal Life's Journey, for craft videos and junk journals. You can find me across social media at ScrapCraftastic. Visit my website and shop at ScrapCraftastic.com. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.